Hey everybody, it's Greg Martin here. Strap on in and put on your big boy pants. It's time to listen to Pop Goes Your World with Derek Myers and Chris McBrien.
If you haven't already, subscribe on iTunes. And while you're there, please leave us a rating and review.
And now it's time for our feature presentation.
I'm Chris McBrien, and the pop culture from Generation X is everything to me.
And I'm Derek Myers, and I'm here to educate Chris on the great pop culture of today's generation.
Episode 336, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid movie review. Hey, I'm Chris McBrien along with Derek Myers, and this is Pop Goes Your World, the pop culture podcast for the generations. In tribute to Robert Redford, who recently passed away, Derek and I thought it'd be worth going back and reviewing a few of his movies. And last time out, we did Sneakers. That was Derek's pick. And this week, I wanted us to take a look at Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. But before we get to our movie review, Derek, what pop culture can you educate me on this week, my friend?
Hey, Chris. Not a whole lot. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in front of screens this week, largely because I've been, it was Thanksgiving here in Canada, so I had a lot of stuff going on with that. But also, I've been listening to audiobooks, and so I want to talk about that first. So I've been listening to this series called Expeditionary Force, and it's by the author Craig Allenson. And someone had recommended this to me. They were like, oh, well, you like this book, this book, this book. When you've read all those, you should try out this one. So I was like, okay, sure. I've read all those other ones they recommended. Let me try this. And it was great. I listened to the first book and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then I went online. I said, oh, well, I wonder if there are other books in this series. Yeah, 18. The author's written 18 books. He puts out 2 new books a year. I was like, oh my God, this guy's a machine. So, I'm almost done the 4th book in the last 3 weeks. This series is fantastic. It's really fun. It's very loosely based. The premise is that in the first book, aliens invade Earth. And so we are following the story of a military guy named Joe who's at home on leave. And he gets some of his buddies together, sort of think like the movie Red Dawn, which they actually even reference in the book. And a bunch of just regular people with Joe's help ambush like an alien trooper that's going through their town. And like, that's the first 2 chapters. And then you find out like there's more intergalactic war and stuff going on. And so we continue to follow Joe as he just seems to continue to find himself in the right place at the right time, or really the wrong place at the right time. And by about the halfway point of the book, a whole bunch of military people make allies with these aliens. And they go to another planet, and Joe accidentally, he's the military guy, he accidentally uncovers a lost relic, which is a super intelligent artificial intelligence, like a supercomputer that fits in the palm of his hand. And it's like super arrogant, super know-it-all, super chatty, super literal, but he's really fun to listen to. And the banter between this guy who's just sort of like your average, literally average Joe, and this super intelligent AI, and just the shenanigans they get up to in this military outer space adventure is a lot of fun. The books are written to be like PG, so there's not a lot of descriptive violence. There's no swearing at all. And it's just a lot of fun. And the banter between Joe and Skippy, the AI, he calls him Skippy, he just gives him a nickname and it sticks, is really good. So this series is called Expeditionary Force. It's by Craig Allenson. The first book is called Columbus Day because the aliens invade on Columbus Day. And it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying them. And if you've got an Audible account and you got some credits, check out the first book. It was a lot of fun. I'm basically telling my friends, I'm like, if you enjoy Star Trek, it sort of feels like that. Like Star Trek is sort of PG level science fiction. Like that's what this feels like. It's not super military. It's not super science. It's a fun outer space story. And so it's been really, really good. So that's what I've been spending most of my time. However, I did manage to get out to the movie theater this week. Oh, nice.
You go to the movie theater a lot. What did you see this week?
So we went out and saw the new offering in the Tron franchise. This one's called Tron Ares.
You mentioned last show you were going to go see this. How was it?
Yeah. It was good. I mean, I liked it. I didn't love it. It is getting terrible reviews, but so did the last. So did like the original Tron did not get good critical reviews when it came out. It was praised for its look and its style and its computer animation. Then when Tron Legacy came out, I think it was about 15 years ago now. Again, same thing. Did not get good reviews, but got a lot of positive praise for its style over substance, the way it looked, the way it felt, the way things were visually presented, the music from Daft Punk from the last one. This one's getting a lot of the same. Nine Inch Nails does the soundtrack. It's fantastic. The look of this movie is beautiful. We saw it in IMAX. The colors, the dark versus the bright lights from the computer, the blues and the reds. It looks amazing. The story, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the main star of this movie is Jared Leto. And like, again, I don't watch trailers, so I had no idea who was in this movie or not. So when he showed up on screen, I was like, oh my God, okay, I guess he's in this. I'll be honest, he's not my favorite performer in the world. I wouldn't avoid a movie simply because he's in it, but I'm certainly not going to see the new Jared Leto movie simply because he is in it. But anyway, long way around. I liked it. I would say it's probably like
he seems like a strange choice to lead a science fiction film. For sure.
Yeah, I sort of thought the same thing. Now, the good news is because he's like one of the Tron type characters, he's in like that cool armor. Like in this one, he's like a warrior.
Right.
So he's like got like almost like battle armor on with the cool red lights on it. And then he's got like a Iron Man style hood that sort of comes up and down so you can see his face. Because why cast a recognizable actor if you're not going to show his face?
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I enjoyed it. I will certainly see it again when it comes out on streaming on my home screen. The reviews I've been reading from fans basically are saying most fans sort of feel the same way I feel, but people that have seen it more than once are saying they're really liking it a lot more the second time through. Again, if you don't love it, you're not going to sit down and watch it twice. Hell, a lot of people are not going to sit down and watch it once. But I think it's one of those ones that once it's available on home streaming, I think people are going to find it and they're going to watch it more than once. And I think it's going to pick up a little bit of steam, which I kind of think is what Tron Legacy did when it came out. It didn't do amazing. And then it sort of found a following a year later when it came out on video and DVD and streaming. So anyway, long way around. Yes, I recommend this movie. I don't think it's for everyone. It looks great. It sounds great. It's a really ABCD kind of movie where there's no real twists and turns in the plot. You get exactly what you expect. And yeah, that's that.
Okay.
Anyway, what have you been up to over the last couple of weeks?
So for my birthday this year, my family wanted to know what I wanted, like for a gift. And I usually like the gift of peace and quiet. I'm not going to lie. But this year I wanted to go to the Hamilton Comic Con. I went last year. I got to meet 3 of the guys from Revenge of the Nerds, if you remember. I got to meet Louis Booger and Ogre, Robert Carradine, Curtis Armstrong, and Donald Gibb. And this year, Larry B. Scott was going to be there. He was Lamar Luttrell from Revenge of the Nerds. So I was going to sort of complete my collection of photos of me with the nerds. I was so excited. I get a picture with Larry B. Scott. And there was going to be some other people there I was happy to meet too, like Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters was there. Although I really always liked him from Going Berserk with John Candy. He played Jerome Willie. It was so good. And from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the 2 sisters, Tatiana Ali and Karen Parsons, Jeffrey the butler, I think it was Joseph Marcel, if I remember his name, and the mom. I think it's the first mom. I
was going to say, yeah, the
thin one that danced. That's the one I think was there.
Yeah, it was the first one.
Anyway, last minute, Larry B. Scott canceled. So I decided not to go. So anyway, I wanted to see everybody else too, but he was the real reason I wanted to go. So I was talking to my wife and I'm like, well, to make up for me not going, I'll go to this thing called the Frightmare in the Falls. It's in Niagara Falls, Ontario. So from E.T., there's the mom, Dee Wallace, and Elliot, Henry Thomas, and then the brother, Robert McNaughton. And then from Jaws, whole bunch of people. The girl that screams when the shark goes into the pond, the boy that played the Kittner boy that gets attacked on the raft, the deputy police chief, Hendricks. Remember Jeffrey Kramer?
Yep. Yeah.
And then, of course, Richard Dreyfuss was going to be there. So I was like, hey,
wow,
this is pretty good.
Richard Dreyfuss is still alive?
Yeah.
If you were playing Dead or Alive, I would have said he was dead for sure.
Wow, no, he is still alive. So I thought this is a pretty good consolation prize, for my birthday, to meet all of them, especially from, one of my favorite movies of all time. And I just found out my son has a university open house to go to that weekend, so I can't go to that Comic-Con either.
Oh
man, I get burned. So
why could your son have just been dumber and not made it into university? Then he would have been able to go.
He should be dumb like his old man and do stuff like this.
Here's your dad joke of the week.
Okay, Derek, a conspiracy theorist dies and goes to heaven. God says, I'll tell you anything you want to know. So the guy's like, at last, who shot JFK? And God says, Oswald acted alone. And the conspiracy theorist says, this goes even higher than I thought.
Dumb. That was dumb.
Oh, come on. Water.
Fall Guy.
No spoilers, man. No spoilers.
No spoilers. I won't spoil it. I'd rather watch Heather Thomas on the TV show.
P. Diddy, and then he became Diddy, and now he's just like rapey.
You're gonna get bleeped anyway.
I don't hate disco, but man, I hate Xanadu.
Or not to be confused with Crisscross.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not buying the Chris McBride soundtrack.
Okay, like I mentioned at the top of the show, we recently lost Robert Redford. So, Derek, you thought it'd be a good idea to go back and review a couple of his movies. Last time out, we looked at Sneakers. And for this week, I wanted to go back, a long way back, all the way to 1969, the year that I was born. So, in fact, the movie was released on September 24th, 1969. I was 3 days old, right after my birthday. So, So anyway, we thought we'd go back and watch this movie that sort of made Redford an international, movie star. And I'm assuming you saw this movie before this week, Derek, did you?
I had seen this once before when I worked at Blockbuster in the 90s. I mean, when you get free rentals, you end up watching everything. And once you've seen all the new releases, then we all just started going back to the classics. And yeah, I remember doing like a whole Paul Newman thing, going back and going through a lot of his movies. And this was one of the ones that I had never seen that everyone's like, it's classic. I mean, I think what had happened was I had watched The Sting, which I really liked. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, well, Newman and Redford have done a couple movies together. Why don't you watch those? So then I went out and watched it. So I had seen it in the, let's say, the late 90s, and I had not seen it since.
What was your general impression having watched it this week?
I remember when I watched it the first time, I enjoyed it. I remember not necessarily like loving it, like, oh my God, 10 out of 10. Everyone has to stop what they're doing to watch this movie. But again, as a student of film, I can appreciate it. I can enjoy it. And it's, again, movies, the way movies are made has changed decade over decade over decade. So even in the 90s, looking back on this, you could already see how it was, the way it was made was very different than the way newer movies were made. So when I was coming into this week, I thought, okay, I went in with pretty reasonable expectations that I was going to enjoy it. But honestly, as I started watching it, I'm like, I really don't remember this movie at all. I only remembered a couple of scenes, like the ones that you see shown sometimes on clip shows and stuff. So again, I liked it. I was glad we had a chance to go back and watch it. I did feel that the pacing for me was a little slow in parts, and I understand that's a deliberate choice, but I guess in my mind I remembered this movie as being a little more action, a little more fast paced. Like in my mind, I sort of remembered them being on the run more and being chased more, and that's not really
they're chased the whole movie.
Even when they're being chased, it's not like I'm almost thinking like how you would film a car chase, like where it's high octane, high speed, and you're like everything's moving quickly and the camera's moving quickly, and you get this sense of everyone moving in one direction incredibly fast.
So what you're saying is
it's more of a
it's more of like the chase in like The Last Jedi, where they're going slowly through space. They're doing this slow chase. It was more like that.
I honestly don't remember that, but if you say that's what that is,
it's a forgettable movie.
Again, no.
The Last Jedi, that stupid prequel or the sequel of the Star Wars.
Yeah, saw it once, didn't like it, trying to forget it.
Yeah.
No, again, I'm not criticizing it, saying it's not good. I'm just saying it wasn't what I was thinking I was going to get. And so, again, it sort of colored my opinion a little bit. But overall, no, I did like it. And I really liked... But I did like some of the other stylistic choices, which we'll get into as well. Sure. Like, how it's sort of clearly like a 2-act movie where there's a break in the middle. Like, I like that. I did think some scenes just seemed to go on a little much. I think some seemed a little bit unnecessary. But there was a lot that I really did like about this. So let me turn it back to you for a bit.
Well, I was thinking about this, and I'm sure that I saw this movie once, I think. Like, I was like a little kid, and it was on TV. So this would have been back in the 70s. So it was like watching it for the first time for me. And as I watched this, I thought it was really good. I liked it. So it's directed by George Roy Hill. It was written by William Goldman. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The William Goldman who wrote The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Among other things, yeah.
He won the Best Original Screenplay Oscar for this movie. So this was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Director, Best Screenplay, which it won, Best Cinematography, which it won, Best Original Score, won, Best Song, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, it won, and Best Sound, which it didn't win. So it won 4 of the 7 Academy Awards it was up for. Pretty impressive, at the time.
Yeah.
So I always ask this one. This one's going to be a tough one for you. The box office from that year. We're going back to 1969. Geez. Any guesses as to what the number one movie in 1969 was at the box office? I'll make it easy on you.
The Godfather came out, right?
Yes, The Godfather came out in 1970.
Was it a musical?
No, it's a really easy question.
Was it Easy Rider?
No. It's an easy one.
The Big Easy.
No, easy in the sense that we're talking about it.
Oh, this one.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was the number one film at the box office by a lot. It took in $102 million, which doubled the next film, which was The Love Bug, which took in $50 million.
Herbie the Love Bug? Nice.
Yep. Midnight Cowboy was 3. I didn't think Midnight Cowboy made that much money. It won Best Picture that year. Easy Rider was 4 and Hello Dolly was 5. And then rounding out the top 10 was Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, Paint Your Wagon at 7, True Grit at 8, Cactus Flower at 9, and Goodbye Columbus at 10. A lot of movies never really heard of. So.
I've seen the top 3, and that was it.
That was about it.
The other ones.
Okay, so we like to talk about the cast. So before we get into the cast, always like to take a look at people that were not cast in the movie. So Warren Beatty was offered a role in this movie, but he turned it down.
Oh, I heard that, yeah.
Marlon Brando was considered for a role at one point. Dustin Hoffman. Jack Lemmon was offered. He turned it down because he wanted to be in The Odd Couple. Steve McQueen was actually hired and was on the project and left because he was pissed that he didn't get top billing over Paul Newman. So he walked away.
Yeah, I'd heard something about this, and I think, yeah.
And Robert Wagner is another one. He was considered for the Sundance Kid as well. So interesting. Wow. Okay, so the cast, Robert Redford. Obviously, we want to start with him. We discussed him quite a bit last week, so we don't need to get into him too much. But I would say this. If you only know Robert Redford from his later work when he was older, or that smiling beard guy meme thing we talked about last week.
Yeah, the Jeremiah Johnson, the nod, yeah.
I think you need to go back and watch Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Man, Robert Redford was something else. This guy looks like a movie star. He doesn't even have to say anything. He just oozes charisma.
That's what I liked about it is his character didn't have a lot to say, but he had a great presence on the screen, as both he and Newman both do. But just the character is clearly when you've got a partnership like that, you have one guy who's the talker and one guy who takes the back seat when it comes to that. And it's clear, Redford's role was just to sort of be the guy in the back that was quiet, that was there, that had presence. And he definitely did that in every scene.
And man, did he look good. He was a good looking guy. So Paul Newman, not to belittle him either, because he was a super good looking guy too. And he oozed charisma as well. They were a great pair. I felt their chemistry is so good in this movie, and they play two criminals, but you like them, and you end up you're rooting for them. So You mentioned they'd done movies together. They paired up again. You could even argue more successfully. They paired up when they did The Sting in 73. And in that movie, they're just basically con men that pull off like this big con against Robert Shaw. But in this movie, like you said, Paul Newman's sort of the driving force. He's the talker, and he's the idea man. But the thing for me is, like, for all the award nominations and, he got over his career, I feel like the best role that he was ever in was one he was never nominated for. And that was Reggie Dunlop in Slapshot. So work with me on this one. I feel like it was his best performance because it's got like this comedic element to it, but he just, I don't know. There's something about Newman. He always finds a way to pull off these sort of unscrupulous characters and make them likable. And in Slapshot, for me, he I don't know. He's just like, he perfects playing this guy that's just hanging on to a dream. Like, he just can't let it go. I loved him in that movie. I thought he was really good. So he has been nominated for 8 Best Actor Oscars, a Best Supporting Actor Oscar, Best Picture, because he produced and directed Rachel, and he's been nominated for Oscars in 5 different decades. And what's even more impressive of that is you consider he was not nominated for any Oscars at all in the 1970s. And he was still nominated in 5 different decades. So, Best Actor, 1959, 62, 64, 68. And then, like I mentioned, Rachel, Best Picture as the producer in 69. Best Actor in 82 and 83 for Absence of Malice and The Verdict. He was given
good in The Verdict.
Oh, he was great. He was nominated, didn't win. Then he was given because he was nominated at this point for 4, 5, 6, 7 Oscars and not winning any of them. In 86, they gave him an honorary award. And then in 87, he's nominated for Best Actor for The Color of Money, and he wins.
Color of Money. Yep.
And then in 94,
and then Nobody's Fool.
In 94, they gave him a humanitarian award. I think probably because he did a lot of work like raising money for charity. Remember he had the salad dressings and all that. And then in 95, he was nominated for Nobody's Fool. And then in 2003, he's nominated for his first Best Supporting Actor Oscar for The Road to Perdition. So,
oh, right. I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, he lost to Chris Cooper for adaptation that year. But like, this guy's been nominated for everything. Like, wow. So, yeah, he was quite the guy, and I thought he was great in this movie, too. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, they were both really good.
Catherine Ross, we got to talk about her. So she had done this just coming off The Graduate in 67, which was pretty much her first movie role, and she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress that year, which she didn't win. She lost to Estelle Parsons in Bonnie and Clyde. But she was great in The Graduate. And then she basically decided, I'm going to spend the 1970s just doing theater. And that's what she did. She was in the film The Stepford Wives in 75. But other than that, she mostly just did theater and TV roles and made-for-TV movies. So I thought it was interesting. In her personal life, she's been married 5 times. She was married 4 times in the 60s and 70s. And now, I did not know this about her. She's been married to Sam Elliott since 1984.
Yeah, I read that too.
I didn't know that.
I was like, oh.
He has a really small part in this movie too, by the way. He's one of the guys playing cards.
They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, I didn't notice till the credits when his name came up. I'm like, was he even in this? I'm like, playing card player number 2. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I blinked and missed him.
Okay, lots of other guys I want to give a shout out to here. So George Firth. He's definitely one of those guys. You know, those actors that you recognize, but you don't know their name. He played Woodcock. Remember the employee that wouldn't give up
wouldn't
the safe?
Open the door. Yeah,
he gets blown up like twice. He was in Dr. Detroit. He was Dan Aykroyd's dad. He was in Blazing Saddles. He was Van Johnson, and he was probably, I remember him the best from the Cannonball Run. Remember, he was Mr. Foyt. Remember that, the guy that's trying to stop the Cannonballers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So a very recognizable guy. So there's him. Another guy I want to give a shout out to is Donnelly Rhodes. So he was Macon. So remember the guy at the beginning that Sundance is playing cards against? And then the guy stands up and he's like going to draw on him. And then he finds out he's the Sundance Kid, so he backs off.
Yeah.
Remember that guy? So that's Donnelly
I'm looking
Rhodes.
at his picture. I'm like, that he's Canadian, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's Canadian.
Yeah.
And apparently he played Doc on the Battlestar Galactica.
He was a
remake.
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, always smoking.
I've never seen
We're
it.
like, he's on a spaceship smoking. What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, no, I've never seen that
And
remake.
he was in Tron Legacy.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Very brief appearance at the beginning. He was supposed to be the father of Flynn.
Oh, very cool. I feel like most Canadians, at least, probably know him best from the TV show Danger Bay. Because he was the lead character, Doc Roberts. That's almost like his thing. He plays characters named Doc for some reason. But anyway, want to give him a shout out. Also want to give a shout out to a blink and you miss her, Cloris Leachman. So she was Agnes the prostitute that Paul Newman was getting chummy with on the bed. Remember when Redford was in the room?
I remember the scene, but I don't remember it was her.
That was her.
I see her here in the IMDb. Yeah, no, I would never have been able to tell you.
So she got started back in like the 50s and 60s doing small TV guest spots. She was in everything from Lassie to Rawhide to Gunsmoke. And then this was her first feature film, Butch Cassidy. And then she went on to star in The Last Picture Show 2 years after this in 71. And she was not only nominated for the Best Supporting Actress that year, she won it for the Last Picture Show. Yeah. So that was pretty impressive. And then obviously she went on to do the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Phyllis. And she was so good with Mel Brooks. Remember she was in Young Frankenstein and History of the World Part 1. She was so funny in that. God. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Kenneth Mars. He was the town marshal who was trying to rustle up the posse. Remember to go get Butch and Sundance? Yeah. He was in Young Frankenstein.
The bicycle salesman comes up.
Yeah, that was a great scene. So he was in Young Frankenstein. He was the cop with the one eye and the prosthetic arm, and he did a ton of voice work and like animated films and TV shows. But I recognized him right away from Fletch. Remember, he was the head of Boyd Aviation when Chevy Chase's poison.
All ball bearings.
No. When Chevy Chase was Mr. Poon. Remember, he had the stuff in his nose because he was bleeding, and Kenneth Mars was like on a popsicle stick. He says to him, I remember that scene. Ted Cassidy, I want to mention too. He was the guy that played Harvey Logan, the one that wanted to take over the gang at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, big guy.
Like that big guy. He was Lurch on the old Addams Family TV show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, really weird looking guy. So anyway, lots of interesting people from the cast, but let's get on to the movie. So the movie opens up with the 20th Century Fox logo in like black and white sepia.
Yeah.
And I love...
Interesting stylistic choice. Yeah.
I also like the old black and white sepia reel that's rolling on the left during the opening credits. Yep. Like it just gives the feel that like it's old, you know? And, you know, you
just old, but old fashioned, like of a time, of a period.
Like it took place, these events took place years ago, sort of thing. And the other thing I liked about the opening credits, it's got that sort of clackety clack sound of the movie reel, but it also, to me anyway, it was almost like the sound of a train going over the railroad tracks, which is important because it's all about train robberies and stuff. So
right.
I thought it was very stylistic. I also like how it says, most of what follows is true. Which I thought was kind of cool because it's based on the Hole in the Wall gang, which was named for the Hole in the Wall Pass in Wyoming, where these gang of bandits you would hang out. And so that's what this movie is based on. It's based on two sort of real characters, real people. They mention their real names in the film, and those are actual real people that were bandits. So I'm sure that, you know, most of what follows is true. Mm-hmm. But it was interesting. So that the opening credits and then even the opening scene with the card playing and stuff is in the black and white and sepia tone.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and I'm like, I'm positive this movie was in color. Like it's from 69. Like, so sure enough, like it's got to, and then of course it switches to color after that scene. So it's just that stylistic choice that the director.
Yeah, no, and I was the same as you when
it.
I was watching. I'm like, I thought this was in color, but honestly, because it had been so long since I saw the movie, I was like, I must be mistaken. And I wasn't like disappointed, like, oh my God, is this not in color? I was like, oh, and then when it switched, I was like, oh, okay.
Here we go. It's almost like just to set the time, and then it just flips over to color and just takes you through the story. So I was watching it. So at the beginning, when Robert Redford's playing cards and he's beating everybody at the table, it looks like he's dealing off the bottom of the deck.
I thought the same thing. And because he's literally holding the deck in his hand. And I thought, that's suspect. Like, why is the deck not flat on the table?
Mm-hmm. And it was interesting because you know, obviously the guy calls him out, and then he's like, "Are you really the Sundance Kid?" Or I think he says something like, "How good are you?" And Redford shoots the gun off of his holster and then shoots it across the floor with multiple shots. So it just sets up the whole movie. You're like, okay, this guy's good. You know?
Yeah.
There's lots of quotes in this movie and lots of great lines. I like when Paul Newman says, "I got vision when the rest of the world has got bifocals." It was like something I wrote down. I thought that was pretty cool. And then at the beginning, the scene with the knife fight, I really liked with Lurch.
Yeah.
He's like, we got to establish the rules.
Yeah, because I've seen that so many times before. So that was a scene that I was very familiar with.
I wasn't familiar with that at all. He's like, we got to have some rules here. He's like, rules? There's no rules in a knife fight. So he kicks him with the balls. He's like, there you go. Like, I thought it was good. So one thing I was thinking about, so I'm watching this and then they're like, okay, we're going to go rob a train. And I'm thinking, how the hell do you rob a train? Back in the days with like horses, it's moving. It's this huge chunk of metal that you can't stop it. And I'm just trying to think, like, how do they do this? And then Robert Redford jumps on board the engine car and he pulls the gun and he makes the engineer stop the train. And then they rob it. I'm like, oh, I guess that's a little bit simpler than I thought. Like, but you would think, you know, with all these train robberies, they'd have some sort of prevention. I don't know, like lock the engine, you know, car up or something. Like, I don't know. It just seemed weird. I just kept thinking about all these things. So, I want to mention too, the first scene with Catherine Ross really freaked me out. So she's all alone.
Oh, yes.
She's getting undressed. And then all of a sudden, Robert Redford's there. He's in her room in the shadows. And he draws his gun on her. And he goes, "Keep going. Take it off." And she does. And he's like, "Let down your
And she
hair."
looks terrified.
Oh, yeah. And he like loosens his belt. And I'm like, no. I know they're criminals, but I mean, like, you're supposed to root for these guys. And now he turns out to be like a rapist. And I was just like freaking out watching this scene. I'm like, this is just, I don't like this. Like, this is freaking me out. And then she goes, "You know what I wish? Just once I wish you'd get here on time." And then it's obvious that they're lovers and they do this all the time.
Yeah.
But it was creeping me out up until that part.
No, I was the same. I was like, this isn't what I remember. Again, because I didn't remember it. But I'm like thinking, an audience saw this in the late 60s in the theater. Like, were they, you know, were they creeped out like we were creeped out? Or was it just like,
or did they play it
happens
for fun? Like, yeah, it's weird.
Know. It seemed bizarre.
Another scene I want to mention is the bicycle scene. What do you think was the deal with the relationship between Catherine Ross and Paul Newman? Like, clearly he's flirting with her. He rides her around on the handlebars of the bicycle. He does all this trick riding to show off for her, but it's Redford's girl. And so I'm watching
and there was
this,
a dialogue. There was the line somewhere where she says, "Do you think if I'd have met you first, we would have been together or something?" And I can't remember what he says.
Well, he says something like, "We are in a relationship.
We are together."
Yeah, we are. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting when he takes her up to the house and then the Sundance Kid comes out and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm stealing your woman." He's like, take her.
Yeah.
And Butch Cassidy's like, "Yeah, you're a romantic bastard, ain't you?" Like, so. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there was the great song during that scene, "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." That was a pretty good scene.
I mean, it's a good song, but I feel the song was out of place for this movie. I always have.
Oh, really?
And honestly, the scene with the bicycle to me also seemed a little out of place. Like, it felt, I don't know. I just didn't get it. I'm sure it's representational of progress and all the rest of that, but I'm just like, it just very much seemed out of place for what it was. I do think that it was necessary to have a scene where you saw the relationship between Butch and the woman, to know that they are friends and friendly, but not romantically together. but I think you could have done that in another way, possibly. I mean, the bike just always seemed strange to me in this movie.
I think it was just going back to the bike salesman who said this is the future. You know, this is gonna be the thing of the future, and he was always the vision guy and wanting to do new things. So that's probably why it kind of tied in. I don't know. I
guess. Yeah.
So then they go and they rob that same train a second time, and again, some of the lines that are so funny. They rob the train. They stop the train. And they go into the car, and this time the safe is like super reinforced with all these metal bars. And Butch Cassidy's like, Woodcock, why'd you have to go and do that? That was so funny. So they use so much dynamite that they just blow the whole thing up, and like money is like raining down. And then that posse shows up. And I have a question. Like, I'm again, this is the way my mind works. I'm thinking, like, what's the idea with, like, the posse and, like, robbers and posses? Like, the marshal tries to get people from the town to form a posse. Like, do they get paid? Or is it just out of duty for, like, safekeeping of the town that anyone would sign up for this posse? Like, it's...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be that there was some sort of compensation. It could just be, hey, you guys have guns and like to shoot them. It could have been a notoriety thing, like, hey, come with me, we're going after Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. You could be the guy that shoots them, or you could be among the guys that catch them, and then now that person that's part of their reputation. I was part of the posse that did this. Again, I don't know enough about it to speak on it with any real authority. Honestly, it's not something that I'm really, like, the Wild Wild West is not really anything I'm really interested in. It's never been a genre that's appealed to me. It's never been a part of American history that's appealed to me. So I really just don't know a lot about it.
You have to admit, though, the Wild West was crazy. Like,
oh, yeah.
But this is where American tradition and Canadian tradition were different. Because in the U.S., the settlers went out first, out west, and then the law came after. But in Canada, up here, we sent the law out first, and then the settlers came, which made for two sort of completely different historical experiences. You know, maybe that helped, I don't know, was a factor in setting the stage for America's obsession with guns. I mean, who knows? It probably started with the Wild West. So I have a question for you. Watching this movie, are they heroes?
No.
They're definitely the protagonists.
Heroes
of the story.
To who?
Yeah, but
they are the heroes of the movie, but I would not call them heroes. They're clearly criminals. They're breaking the law. They eventually they end up shooting people. They're destroying property. They're stealing money. I get it's the whole Robin Hood fantasy of they're stealing money from wealthy companies that probably overcharge regular people, but they're not dispersing it to others in need. They're keeping it.
They're keeping
thieves.
it. Yeah, right.
Now, and you know me, I love a good heist movie. And 99% of the time, a heist movie is all about thieves pulling the heist. So I'm not opposed to watching a movie where the main characters are villainous, or especially not if they're thieves or robbers. Like, I enjoy this genre. But as with many movies, especially ones that are older like this one, in order for the moral compass of the movie studio to do what it needed to do, the criminals need to eventually be punished. And by the end of this movie, they are.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought it was interesting after they robbed that train the second time, the posse that shows up, that comes out of that kind of one train
like
car.
the second train.
Yeah. They're real good. Like, they track them even at night, and they don't fall for any attempts to throw them off. Like when Butch and Sundance jump on the one horse and they send the other one in the other direction, posse don't fall for it. You know, and they probably say, who are these guys? They probably say that like a dozen times, you know? And this posse apparently has Lord Baltimore and Joe LaForge. He's the guy with the white hat.
Those are great names, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. And apparently real people. Like, Joe LaForge was a real person in history. And they were not messing around, let me tell you. And Catherine Ross gets the lowdown that they're basically... The banker hired them, and Woodcock's boss. And they're not going to quit until they're dead. Like, they're out to kill him. I felt that posse chase was really long. Like, it wasn't too long, but like it must have been 30 minutes of the movie. Like it was going on and on.
Well, and that's what I felt too. It felt like it was long, but it felt like it was slow. Like I think if that sequence had been compressed into half the amount of screen time, I would have enjoyed it more. I mean, I understand, again, it's a pacing thing. You want to really sell the fact that they're not giving up. They are in it to win it. And that helps when later these guys, they take a steamship to go all the way to Bolivia, and these guys potentially still follow them. Yep. If you think that's who it was. So it's like, okay, they need
for sure
that.
They did. So I like in that scene when they go up the mountain to try and escape them and they get to that cliff with this huge drop off to the river. Such an amazing scene. I really, really enjoyed that. I like Paul Newman's like, I know, we'll jump. He's like, they're not going to follow us. And Robert Redford's like, why not? And then he's like, would you make that jump if you didn't have to? And Robert Redford says, I have to, and I'm not gonna. And he's like, well, why won't you jump? He's like, because I can't swim. And Paul Newman just starts laughing his head off. And you think it's because he's basically making fun of Robert Redford for not being able to swim. But the line he delivers, he's like, the fall will probably kill you. Such an amazing line. Probably my favorite line in the movie. I thought it was just great.
And that scene is, again, one of those scenes that because I've seen it so many times, when that came, I knew that came. And again, I love it and it worked just as well. But I got to think the first time you see this movie, that really strikes it. Like, you're like, again, it just really emphasizes who these characters are.
And they have such great chemistry between them, just the back and forth dialogue. So, but I think that scene might be one of my favorites. So they obviously they get away, and then there's the montage of them going to Bolivia. And it's the whole montage is done with still photos, just overlaid on each other, and it just tells the story. It even starts to like tell the story of their relationship together and things like that. And like, you even see kind of how Paul Newman is kind of on the outside of the relationship and kind of looking, is he jealous? Like what? But it's a super long montage though. It's a couple minutes long.
Yeah, as I was watching it, so I liked the fact that it had no dialogue. It was just the still photos, and it was the music. And again, the music choices, like the score of this movie is fantastic. It deserved all the recognition that it got. But I found that I was misremembering that they basically just packed up and went to Bolivia. So when there was this montage of them like going to New York and spending all this time.
Coney Island, yeah,
they go to Coney Island and you see like all these different things. I'm like, they really seem to be taking their time. And so it's like, were they trying to just have one line? The way I interpreted it was, they had decided they were going to Bolivia. They didn't know what that was going to be all about. We're going to have a last hurrah with all the creature comforts of home, spending this money that we've stolen, and then we're going to start fresh when we get where we're going, kind of thing. Whether or not that was true, but I was surprised that we didn't get Butch Cassidy meeting a woman. Like, to me, that was sort of the strangest part of this movie is, if Sundance could meet a woman and make it work, why couldn't Butch meet a woman and make it work?
Because he spent all his money on brothels. I think that was just his thing.
Yeah, and that was said in the dialogue, but I don't know. It seemed odd to me. And again, I know this is sort of loosely based on real people, so you can only take so much liberties if you want to keep it on that path. But that was the one thing that I just thought was like, not hard to accept, but I was like surprised. That's probably a better way to think of it. I was surprised that through the course of the movie, we didn't see him in any sort of relationship, even short-term relationships where it's like, oh, he's in this place, he meets this woman, they're there for a little while, and then he leaves her behind. Because that seems like something he'd probably do. But it wasn't even that. It was, to your point, we kept seeing him go to the brothels, and that was the end of that. So
they finally get to Bolivia, and you think, oh, maybe they're just going to settle down here and lay low for a while. And they get dropped off in basically like a pig pen. And Robert Redford is not happy. And Paul Newman gives this great line. He's like, don't worry. He'll feel better after he's robbed a few banks. And I'm like, okay, they're going right back to it, apparently. But they can't rob the banks because they don't know Spanish. And then I'm watching this and I'm thinking, this is pretty interesting because you can't pull off a robbery if you can't communicate with language. Like, you just can't go
Not
to
if
a
you're
bank.
not if you're going to rob in broad daylight. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
going to break in the middle of the night, that's a whole other thing.
Well, different, but if
Their
you're gonna,
thing was
with
go during the
people-
day and do a stick up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to do a stick up. You just can't go in and start waving a gun. It just doesn't work that way. You got to tell people, back up against the wall, do this, you know. So then the next bank, they talk their way into the vault because it's Catherine Ross and Robert Redford together.
And I love that scene was just music.
No dialogue.
You knew what they were saying without, obviously the performers had dialogue, but we didn't hear it as the audience, and we didn't need it. We knew everything that was happening in that scene.
And it's not even like the Bolivian music that I kind of expected. It's more of a saloon type music or something like that. This movie is very stylish, really sharp direction, I thought. And
It was
like a really cool way to tell a story with different techniques constantly throughout the
Yeah, I
movie.
agree. And you can really understand why people consider this a classic.
Yeah.
It is. It's definitely a capital C classic. And if you haven't seen this movie, you should see it. It's worth seeking it out to find it and watch it. It is really good.
And it's not just style too, like it's thematically, like the whole idea of them going straight. This to me was an amazing scene in the movie. They see that Joe LaForce, he makes his way to Bolivia. So they're like, okay, we're screwed. Let's just go straight. You know, so they take a job guarding the payroll for a mine. And when they're escorting the payroll back, their boss gets shot. And these Bolivian bandits steal the payroll money. So Butch and Sundance confront them. And I love that scene because Sundance is like, you take the two guys to the right. And Paul Newman's like, I've never killed anyone before. And Robert Redford's like, that's a hell of a time to tell me when they're staring down these bandits. But they shoot all 6 of the bandits. And for me, the scene is impactful because there's basically no blood, but it's gruesome. It is a gruesome scene. And it gets done, and these 6 bandits are laying there dead. And the line is, well, we've gone straight, now what? And these guys have to face the fact that they've gone straight and they've become murderers. So they go back to robbing, you know, and they steal a horse. And then obviously the brand on it gets them caught and stuff. And then, you know, they get chased into that building. But the snappy dialogue, even, it just keeps going right to the end. When they have to go and get the ammo, and then Sundance Kid's like, I'll go. And Butch Cassidy's like, this is no time for bravery. I'll let you. Like,
yeah, you're right. I'll let you.
Snappy. And then they both get hit. And then even the line after they both get hit by bullets is like, that's what you call giving me cover? Like, they're still snapping with each other. And they hole up in that building. And then the thing is, it's not just the cops outside anymore. It's like, unbeknownst to them, the entire Bolivian army shows up. And they're on rooftops, on the road, between buildings. They all got their guns aimed at the doorway. And then Butch Cassidy's like, I know where we can go next. And Sundance like, where? And Butch Cassidy's like, Australia. Like, right to the end, he's an idea man, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, they are both, like, really hurt bad. Like, Newman can barely hold a gun.
Yeah, Newman looks all pale, and Redford's got a stomach wound. You can see the blood.
They're done
in his waist.
And then, of course, Butch Cassidy's like, you didn't see LaForce out there, did you? And Sundance Kid is like, no. And he's like, okay, good. For a second there, man, I thought we were in trouble.
Yeah.
And then they both run out to face the cops, and you hear all these guns going off, and the freeze frame of them running out of the house and into the line of fire, it turns to that black and white sepia. And it's like, that's the final shot of the two of them running to their deaths. It's like a photograph of their last stand, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty stylistic, pretty friggin' good, I would say.
Yeah, really good.
Liked it. You want to give it a rating out of 10 for me?
Give it an 8.5.
I give it an 8.5 as well. That's what I had down. So, awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Thought it was great. All right, let's have some
fun with Caveman.
All right, my man, it was my movie, so trivia is over to you. What have you got for us?
All right, so we are going to play a little game that I like to call Pick the Flick.
Pick the flick. Yeah, pick the flick. You get the synopsis, then pick the flick. You get the year, flick.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Let's play it. So how's this one going to work?
All right. So this movie is called Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
It is.
And so it's the names of the two main characters.
Yep.
That's it. And I've actually bitched in the past about like nothing bugs me more than a movie that's just a character's name where you know nothing. Like Jerry Maguire, terrible
Right.
tighter. I don't know who that is. Anyway, we're not even going to go down that road. I just felt I had to say that. So when I looked this up, apparently this is called a paired name title.
Okay.
Apparently it's a real thing. And so it's a title of a movie where the title is just the names of two characters paired together. So I'm going to give you many clues. I've got about 15 here. I'll give you the year and I'll give you the synopsis. You give me the title. Every title is name and name.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Every answer. Name and name. Okay? Just like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Gotcha.
Every answer is going to be name and name. I got some new ones. I got some old ones. I got some classics. You should get most of these. Most of these are pretty on the nose. I had to change the descriptions on a couple just because they were super easy, but I
Right.
still think you're going to do very well. So, all right, you ready to rock and roll here?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, the first one's from 1997. I know
Okay.
that's a little out of your wheelhouse, but I think
Yep.
you could get this one.
I'll try.
Two superheroes try to keep their relationship together, even as they must stop a mad scientist and a crazy environmentalist from destroying their city.
Is it Batman and Robin?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
All right, we're going to stick with superheroes.
All right.
2018. This one's a little tougher. 2018. A rookie superhero balancing his role as a hero and a father is recruited for an urgent mission by his female superhero counterpart.
And what was the year?
2018. It's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I want to say it's Ant-Man and Wasp Girl?
Very close. I'll give you a point. It's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And the Wasp. And that was, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Paul
All
Rudd
right.
or something was in it?
Yeah, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man. Yeah. All right, 1996. A classic play is updated to the hip modern suburbs while still retaining its original dialogue.
And that was
1996.
Oh my God.
Classic play. Classic.
Classic play. I blanking.
Name and name. Classic.
No idea.
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, that was like the Romeo plus Juliet one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. 2009. This one, I don't know if you know or not. 2009. A young blogger is determined to emulate a famous chef's cooking techniques. Though separated by time, the two women share a common passion for food that intertwines their lives.
I want to say isn't it like Jules and Julia? Julia and
Very,
Julia?
very close. Julie and Julia.
Julie
I'll
and
give you
Julia.
full points for that one.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, and it's Julia Child is the famous chef.
Gotcha.
All right. Here we go. We're going in our Wayback Machine. 1967.
Oh, wow.
A bored waitress falls in love with an ex-con, and together they start a violent crime spree through the country, stealing cars and robbing banks.
That would be Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes, it would. All right. We're going to 1991. This one a little tougher.
Okay.
A man just released from prison gets a job in a cafe and meets a beautiful waitress who he attempts to romance despite her introverted personality.
Oh, man. And that's from 91?
91. Stars Al Pacino and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, Al Pacino. Wasn't it like Frankie and Johnny or something?
Yes, you got it. There you go.
I've never seen it, but Al Pacino.
I've never
thank
seen
you for
it
the
either.
clue.
I had to look up what it was about.
Yeah, that kind of.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We're going to 1986. We got a biopic here.
All right.
The real life story about the relationship between a bassist for a British punk rock group and his girlfriend.
Oh, Johnny. Oh, crap. I can't think of it. I don't know. I can't think of it.
Sid and Nancy.
Sid and Nancy.
Both
Yeah.
Sid
Oh,
Vicious.
yes,
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
I was thinking Johnny Rotten for some reason. And it
Yeah,
threw
no, I
me
can
off.
hear you. Johnny,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're close.
Threw me
you're
off.
close.
Threw me
All
off.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
Got me.
2008.
Okay.
I think you've actually seen this one. A family learns important life lessons from their adorable but naughty neurotic dog.
Oh my God.
Something and something.
It's
All the
2008?
Yep.
I have no idea.
Marley and Me.
Oh.
Did you not see that? No. Everyone
No idea.
with little kids that it was around this. Okay.
No.
All right. This one is tough, but it's from the 80s, so I got my fingers crossed for you
All
on
right.
this one. Okay. 1985.
Right?
A disillusioned military contractor and his drug pusher childhood friend become spies for the Soviet Union.
Oh, jeez, Louise. From 85?
Yep.
I don't have a friggin' clue. Is it The Falcon and the Snowman?
All right.
Had to think about that for a second. Sean
Pulled
Penn.
it off.
Yeah.
Nicely
yeah.
done.
I think Chris
All
McBeast
right.
was in that one too. Nice. Okay.
Okay. I got two super easy ones in a row here for you. Okay. They're both from 1989.
Okay.
All right. The first one, framed by their ruthless arch nemesis, a pair of mismatched LAPD officers must put their differences aside to get even with the brutal crime baron who sent them to rot in a maximum security prison.
And this is 89?
89.
Oh, God. It doesn't really sound familiar. I should know it. I
Just think of any 80s action movie that's someone and someone.
Is it Tango and Cash?
Yeah.
I saw that one time years ago, but I don't remember anything about it. Other than I think he was like, there was a scene where he's like, "Did you bump uglies with my sister?" For some reason, I remember that
something
line.
like that,
So, yeah.
All right. All right. The other one from 1989.
Okay.
Also featuring police. A detective must adopt a rambunctious dog in order to help him find a killer.
Oh, God. Oh, man. What the? I can see the Turner and Hooch.
Yes.
I can see the movie poster.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We only got a few left.
Okay.
This one's really new. 2019.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. A former agent of the Diplomatic Security Service and a former UK Special Forces military officer form an unlikely alliance when a cyber genetically enhanced villain threatens the future of humanity. Not a superhero movie, I'll give you that.
I've no idea.
Think of a more recent action movie, someone and someone.
2019, you said? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Hobbs and Shaw.
I've never even heard of
Part
that.
of the Fast and the Furious franchise. It's a spin-off.
I've never seen a single one of those movies. I've never even heard of that movie.
All right. Well, they're making a sequel to Hobbs and Shaw.
Of course they are.
Yeah. All right. 1993.
Okay.
A mentally ill young woman finds her love in an eccentric man who models himself after Buster Keaton.
Oh, jeez. And that's from 93?
93.
Is that that one with is that Benny and June?
Yes, it is. Yes. You were going to say, is it that one with Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about that one, and then I was like, yeah, that was that one. I remember seeing snips of it here and there. So okay.
All right. Okay, I got 3 left.
Okay.
This one's a newer one, but it's a family film. It's from 2011.
Okay.
Gnomes from different sides of a garden fence fall in love with each other. But will a family feud keep them apart?
Oh, I have no clue. No clue.
It's Romeo and Juliet.
Never even heard of it.
No?
So,
I figured your kids might have seen that
No.
one. All right. Okay. Got 2 big movies coming at you.
Okay.
1991, the first one here.
All right.
2 best friends set out on an adventure, but it soon turns around to a terrifying escape from being hunted by the police as these 2 women escape for the crimes they committed.
Oh, it's Thelma and Louise.
Yes, it is. All right. Last one.
Okay.
1971. It's not quite your wheelhouse, but I think you're going to get this.
Okay.
Young, rich, and obsessed with death, a young man finds himself changed forever when he meets a lively septuagenarian at a funeral.
Sounds like a crazy concept for a movie, but if you have never seen this movie, it is fantastic. And it's a personal favorite of mine, Harold and Maude.
Yep, you got it. I knew you would know that one. So
Bud Cort and Ruth Gordon.
Yep.
God, that movie is so good. You would never in a million years think this would be a good movie. And even you start watching it, you're like, what is this? It is fantastic. Like, just fantastic. So, yeah. Good one.
No, I've heard that. No.
Good one.
Anyway, you had a lot there. You probably got more than half. I mean, a few of those ones I knew were a little outside your wheelhouse, but I think some of the listeners got those.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So next time that we're going to come back, we're going to do a topic, but we're going to be take another week off. I'll try and get our producer to put out a best of show next week.
Fantastic.
He was slacking last week, so he didn't get that one out. So yeah, he's looking at me. He's looking at me sideways here. But we'll get one out next week, and then in 2 weeks' time, we'll come back and we'll do a topic. We'll figure out what that's going to be and what that's going to look like. But until then, I'm Chris McBrien on behalf of myself and Derek Myers, and of course our producer Sloth. We want to say thanks for listening to Pop Goes Your World, the pop culture podcast for the generations.
Thanks for listening to Pop Goes Your World. You can contact Chris and Derek at popgoesyourworld.com. Please take a minute and review the podcast on iTunes or wherever you download and listen to the show.